Hello, my name is Hannah, and here's how to make a Graaff Generator with things you can find at home. On the table you can see everything you will need: a small motor of around 1.5 to 3 volts, a 1.5 battery, copper wire and nylon thread. The nylon can be substituted by any material on the positive side of the triboelectric series. Then there is a vinyl tape, which can also be replaced by any material on the negative side, such as PVC. Finally, some wire, an old pen and its ink tube, a few elastic bands, an empty can, and to hold the structure, anything like a wooden spoon and the usual tools. First, we need to drill some holes in the tube, one in the middle for the motor and two at the top end for the upper roller. Starting with the lower roller, we take the ink tube and measure how much we need, then wrap it with vinyl tape. It is recommended to first apply a thin layer of tape and then a wider on top to create a slight bump. This keeps the rubber band in place when it's spinning at speed. We then assemble the motor onto the tube and test it with the battery to make sure everything is working just fine. The next step is the upper roller. I wound nylon thread around the old pen casing and fixed it with superglue. I assembled it and tested it with a rubber band, and this is where things got interesting. It was clearly not working as expected. The band was too dense and too thick, and the nylon roller had too many bumps, making it impossible to spin smoothly. And I realized I had to change the plan. After a small research, I found that I could replace the nylon roller with a new one made of aluminum foil. I glued it onto a thinner and smoother tube. And after that change, the belt ran without any trouble and I was able to move on. In this small video, we can appreciate that change. At the top of the generator there is going to be the can, where the electric charge is going to accumulate. We drill a small hole near its opening to connect a copper wire using a screw and a nut, since the wire cannot be soldered directly onto the aluminum. Finally, we put everything together. I used a wooden spoon and elastic bands to connect the tube to the can. I also tried some long wooden sticks, but were unnecessary. The last thing needed was a stable base. I used a glass jar secured with duct tape, which works perfectly, since glass is an electric insulator and prevents the charge from leaking to the ground. And here is the finished generator. When switched on, the belt spins between the two rollers. Triboelectric charging occurs at each contact point, and charge is continuously transferred up to the metal dome.